Hi everybody, this is Joshua Kirk back with you guys once again on YouTube, and now it's time for, I believe this is episode 29 or 30 of Album of the Day. I think this is episode 29 of Album of the Day, in which once again I'm going to do another album review, and I'd love to thank, and before I get into the review, I'd just like to thank the Beanstalk Library themselves for watching my review and really liking it and tweeting about it and all kinds of stuff. So you guys, Beanstalk Library, you guys are great. You rocked it on the show. Your new album, The View from Here, is excellent, and it's great that you guys tweeted about it, and it was great talking to some of you guys at the Hamilton show in DC. With the Circus Life Live podcast. But anyway, aside from that, let's get on to the review. So today's artist is an indie rock band that have been around, I think, since 2004 or 2005. I'm not 100% sure on that. But the band is called Arctic Monkeys. They've put out over 5 albums. And today I'm here to review their most recent album and their 5th album, which was released on September 10th, 2013. The album is called AM. And, what's interesting about the title AM is that the title AM can have a lot of different meanings to it. It could either refer to the AM as being like a time of day or something, or it can refer to just the initials of the band name. Some people kind of think of it as just the initials of the band name. Others kind of think of it as more kind of... but when I look at the name AM, I kind of think about the time of day, sort of. Kind of like Wilco's 1995 record called AM, their debut album, which is probably their most underrated and overlooked album, but it's a great album. But anyway, we're not really here to talk about. We're here to talk about Arctic Monkeys. This is my introduction to Arctic Monkeys. Let me tell you, I'm hooked for life because of this album. There's so much good about it that I thought it would be a breeze to review, so that's why I'm reviewing it. Anyway, here's the cover of it. Really like this album cover. It says AM there, and it's with a bunch of wires. The spine and the back of the album. The songs on here are Do I Want to Know, Are You Mine, One for the Road, Arabella, I Want It All, Number One Party Anthem, Mad Sounds, Fireside, Why Do You Only Call Me When You're High, Snap Out of It, Knee Socks, and I Want to Be Yours. And it's released on Domino Records. And to show you the inside of it, there's not really much there. It's just black background. But over there's a photo of the band. It's hard to tell it's kind of hard to tell which member is which, but, cool little photo of the guys wearing suits and, black ties and all, wearing, suits and ties and all that. But anyway, before I show you the CD, I'm going to show you this lyric booklet. There's Arctic Monkeys logo right there, and AM, the title at the bottom, although you can't really see it very well. But anyway, here's the lyrics for all the songs, which, I love to see the lyrics, and then, of course, the liner notes. Nothing too extra special, just your typical lyrics and liner notes like you would expect from an album. Although these days it seems that lyric booklets aren't very common, but, that's alright, because for me what really matters is that as long as the music is quality music and it sounds great, I am fine with it. I am fine with the music. There's really nothing on this sleeve, but anyway, there's the CD itself. And I recently got this CD at a Target in Hanover, Pennsylvania. I was visiting my grandparents, and like I went to Target and like bought this CD, obviously because I had heard of it before, really liked it, and decided to finally get myself a copy of it in physical format, because sure, I really like the music, but also like having the physical format with everything in there. But anyway, here's Arctic Monkeys AM Packaging. Let's talk about the songs on here. The opening track on here is called Do I Wanna Know, and this is a song that right off the bat gets you hooked on the whole thing. Like, it starts out with this kind of electronic drum beat, which is like played on an electronic drum kit, instead of a typical acoustic drum kit. And then eventually coming in, there's the main riff that goes like do 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 do. And trust me, I love that riff. That riff I am so addicted to. And then coming in, there's the vocals, which kind of have this little echo to them. Go to them like this kind of reverb like it's being sung, and like it's not really like super synthetic reverb, but rather it's kind of reverb that really does remind me of some garage rock music, like the White Stripes or the Black Keys or whatever. Like the Black Keys are definitely one of the Arctic Monkeys' similar influences, except they're a little more indie and a little more punk, I guess, than the Black Keys are, while Black Keys are a little more kind of garage rock and bluesy sort of thing. The same thing with White Stripes too, although both those bands are definitely a couple of evident influences there. And then coming in, there's some really catchy falsetto background vocals coming in, and then there's the really fuzzy bass, and coming in, there's like actual drums and percussion. So yeah, the song kind of leaves you kind of weirded out at first with the intro with the electronic drums. But once the guitar comes in, it's kind of going to be a song that's like just an awesome rock tune that you're going to want to play on repeat. In fact, I already do play this album on repeat. And this song totally shows that this is an album that you definitely want to listen to again and again and again. Like, I can see why. This is an album that's been critically acclaimed. Last year it's pretty critically acclaimed, which makes sense because this is definitely a very focused and album that's just totally memorable, that leaves you just wanting to listen to it over and over again. In fact, I already listened to this album over and over again. I love it. Track number 2 is called Are You Mine? And this is a song that actually started out as a single-only track for Record Store Day. Like, it was recorded around, like, maybe late 2011 or early 2012 as just a single for Record Store Day. It's kind of a basic, kind of punk rock kind of song with not much stuff extra special, but I love the chorus. Like, the falsetto vocals on it, excellent. And, and then there's just some awesome guitar noise going on, and the fuzzy bass line, which, I love to hear bass lines with a lot of fuzz on them, because it makes them sound a little more like a mixture of kind of a bass with kind of a fuzz guitar element mixed in there. Although it's not like a fuzz guitar, but rather it's a fuzz bass. Like the chorus has those catchy falsetto vocals. Like, one of the standout things are those falsetto vocals. I mean, how can you not sing along with some of these songs when you hear those falsetto vocals in there? Like, when you hear those falsetto vocals in there, there's no way that you can't sing along with these songs. Track number 3 is called One for the Road, and this is kind of a more bluesy kind of song. It's not really a song with the blues rhythm, but it's definitely got blues elements to it. So this is definitely kind of a bluesy kind of number with some really catchy falsetto vocals that go like, one for the road, like when you hear those falsetto vocals, you know right away that this is a song that you just want to sing along with and just listen to it again and again and again. And another thing that's really cool about the song is that Josh Homme, the lead singer of Queens of the Stone Age, actually sings backup vocals on this song. His vocals on here have kind of a higher range than what you typically hear on kind of a punk based Queens of the Stone Age song. So like you hear Josh Homme singing in like a higher range than he usually does with Queens of the Stone Age when you hear his harmonies in the background. And it's got the really cool, catchy bass line mixed in with the catchy guitars, and then in the bridge, a couple of weird things going on. There's a couple of weird things going on by the bridge. There's like a tambourine playing along with this droning baritone guitar in the background. And this is just a great and catchy song. It's definitely a standout track for sure. Like, when the song is over, it may be over, but trust me, it's going to stick in your head for a while, and you're going to end up singing it all day, because it is just a cool, cool song. Track number 4 is called Arabella, and it's kind of a song about this girl who, about this girl that has, a 70s head that, takes a dip into the narrator's daydreams when she needs a shelter from reality, which, it sounds kind of crazy and kind of humorous, but those lyrics work, and I really love the chorus. I mean, the little do-do-do-do-do-do. I love that guitar riff in there. And then by the end, after the narrator talking about organic cigarettes that she smokes and Mexican Coke that she drinks, talking about how she kind of takes a sip of your soul, and it sounds like, and then coming in, there's a Alex Turner doing this, weird kind of guitar solo, which kind of represents what, sipping into someone's soul over Mexican Coke kind of sounds like figuratively, pretty much. Track number 5 is called I Want It All, and this is a song, it's a pretty simple song, not much to it, basically talking about a fireball and mistakes and mind games and things that the narrator seems to want, but then things, get a little different by the bridge, where it kind of talks about Alex Turner remembering a memory that he had, sharing miniature whiskey and sharing a girl's Coke, talking about drinking miniature whiskey and sharing a girl's Coke, and then being left listening to a Stones record. So yeah, it's kind of simple, not much special in the lyrics or in the melody of it, but by the bridge, things get a little different, from the lyrical concepts for the rest of the song. The track number 6 is called Number 1 Party Anthem, and this is a song that's not really a very punk rock sounding. It's a slower, more ballad based kind of song with some nice piano work in there, and talking about and it's sort of this party anthem about a bunch of things like being on the prowl and drunken monologues and a ton of things like that. Yeah, it's a pretty good song. Not my favorite on here. Not my favorite song on here, but it's still a pretty good song. There's some really nice piano work on this song, played by the producer of this record, James Ford, who plays some keyboards throughout the record. His piano on this song really does, make the song succeed, musically, that's for sure. Track number 7 is more of a jazz influence kind of tune called Mad Sounds, and this is a basic song about the narrator talking to this girl who obviously seems to feel alive and happy and seems to get up and dance every time she hears mad sounds in her ears, which, may typically in real life be kind of annoying. This song, like, it totally makes sense. If this song has a jazz feel to it. In fact, Pete Thomas makes an additional role on percussion on here, so it totally makes sense. A jazz musician came in for this song, because this is kind of the most jazz-influenced song. Like, for example, I will admit this, #1 party anthem, Mad Sounds, and I Wanna Be Yours seem like, more jazzy, kind of ballad-based kind of tracks. Mad Sounds is a pretty good song with nice tambourine in there, nice little guitar riff and an organ, and then coming in the bridge, there's like the ooh la las in there that really kind of make the song easy to sing along to. Like, it's kind of hard to sing along with at first, but once the ooh la las come in, it gets easier for you to sing along with it and realize how sometimes slower songs can be really catchy too. Like, even if it's kind of a song that you just want to slow dance to. Track number 8 is called Fireside, and this song is kind of an interesting thing going on with the drums on here. Like, the drums on here kind of sound like some drum kit mixed with like kind of an electronic, bongo-like kind of thing in the background. And then there's a nice little bass line, and the guitar and the organ in there too. And then, like, coming in by the chorus, there's like some tambourines and some catchy little harmonies in the background. Like, the falsetto background vocals just make this a catchy record that is just, just insanely catchy, and just it makes it an album that is just, it is just impossible not to fall in love with this album and not to find it to be catchy, because it's a great album. Like, I will admit that. And then by the middle of the song, things get a little weird. Like, there's a synthesizer thing along with and out of nowhere comes Bill Ryder Jones doing this little, like, atmospheric guitar solo, which, like, I like how, they can put in, I like how, artists can put in such, weirdness in there, but still make it sound cool, because trust me, weird in the music world can be cool. Like, in the music world, weird can be cool, that's for sure. Track number 9 is called Why'd You Only Call Me When You're High? And this has really catchy guitar, bass, and drums work. And then there's like lyrics about staying up late at night till 3 in the morning, getting constant calls from a girl saying, why are you only calling me when you're high? And sort of talking about how, it can sometimes kind of bore you when people call you when you're high. When people call you when you're high. It's just a catchy little song, and it makes sense that it is one of the singles off of the album, because, it makes sense for it to be an alternative radio single, that's for sure. Because the little do 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 is just so catchy. Track number 10 is called Snap Out of It, and this song is really catchy too. Pretty simple musically. But I really like the catchy falsetto vocals in there of Snap Out of It. I mean, those vocals are just, so catchy. Track number 11 is called Knee Socks, and this song has a cool little collidance of the guitar, the organ, the bass, and the drums on here. Like, the guitar, the organ, the bass, and the drums on here. Like, just make an incredible mixture on here. And then once again, Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age sings backup vocals on this song. And, when I saw the Josh Homme appearance, I knew right away that the guest appearances were going to be pretty cool on here. And like, the chorus is really catchy, When the zero... the chorus is, like, really catchy. When the zeros line up on the 24-hour clock. Like, I just really love that chorus in there. And then the bridge, kind of everything drops out and it gets this kind of weird high note kind of vocals. Vocals that, like, say on here, you and me could have been a team, each had a half of a king and queen seat. Like the beginning of Main Streets, you could be my baby. Like, that bridge is really catchy. And also kind of weird when the instruments drop out and instead you, get mostly the high note vocals, which, that's kind of something that might, creep some people out at first, but then as they listen to it more, they realize, they're just putting it there just because it's so catchy. Track number 12, the closing track, is called I Wanna Be Yours, and to be honest with you, this is kind of my least favorite song on the whole record. It's kind of not really the best way to close out the album for me. I mean, it's an alright song, but it's an alright song. It's cool that the band decided to use a drum machine, for example, for the first time on this song. But, it just kind of falls flat a little bit for me and kind of limps at the end of the record. The lyrics on that song are actually not lyrics written by Alex Turner or any of the Arctic Monkeys. Instead, the lyrics are written by a poet named John Cooper Clarke. So they took the poet's they took the poet's words and used them for words for a song on here. And it's alright. It's definitely not a great song. It's a good song, but kind of falls flat. And if they closed with something a little more stronger, I think if they closed the album with something a little stronger, it would have been a bit of a better album. If they kept it on the album, but added a 13th track to make the album a whole lot stronger by the end. Because some of my favorite albums have a really strong closer. But this song is kind of weak and, amateurish. But, that's just my opinion. Aside from that one weak track on there, I Want to Be Yours, the rest of this album is just excellent, just wonderful. The rest of this album is just, great. If you've never heard of the Arctic Monkeys, even if you haven't heard any of their older stuff, like I haven't yet, this wouldn't be a very bad introduction. This would actually be a pretty good introduction if you're new to Arctic Monkeys. In fact, this is my introduction to the band, and pretty soon I'm going to check out some of their other stuff after this one. Some of their other albums include Whatever They Say I Am, that's When I'm Not, in 2006, Favorite Worst Nightmare in 2007, Humbug in 2009, and Suck It and See in 2011. But anyway, I definitely give this album 9 out of 10. Great album. I highly recommend it. So that's my review of the Arctic Monkeys AM, and stay tuned for episode 30 of Album of the Day.